For the last decade, we've been sharing stories about people who have transformed their lives with the help of Charles D'Angelo. Today, we are joined by Brian Frailey, who reached his goal of losing 160 pounds and is celebrating 2 years of keeping the weight off. It is so good to see you again, and you look fantastic.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, take us back. What was going on in your life at the time when you decided to contact Charles?
Well, there was a lot going on, and ultimately, the biggest thing, the biggest driver of this was doing a backpacking trip with my son. So I met with Charles in early 2018. I had a backpacking trip with my son in 2019, and I had to lose a minimum of 114 pounds, a maximum of 114 pounds, just to go on the trip with him. So that was the last straw. I decided I had to do something. I reached out to Charles. We set a goal. I met that goal 9.5 months later, and I was able to go on that trip with my son. And then I'm doing the same trip with my younger son this coming July. So I've been staying fit, staying active, and practicing the backpacking with him as well.
Talk about the biggest changes in your life now that you've kept it off for 2 years.
Well, the biggest changes, I mean, you reach a goal, and you hit a big milestone like this, right? And you realize what you're capable of doing, what your body's capable of doing, and you feel more confident. You gain more self confidence with that, and so it's helped me with my relationships, in my life, in my work. I'm more active in everything, all aspects of my life at this point.
Charles, what would you recommend to someone watching this who feels like they've tried everything?
Well, I think Brian is evidence that not only is it possible to achieve your goal, it's possible to totally recalibrate and embrace the identity of health and fitness, which is really at the core of the work I do with people, is helping people change their mindset. If you think that you're a person who is always going to have a weight problem, the strongest force in our own psychology is the sense of identity that we have. So it's very difficult for any of us in any regard to act out of accordance with how we see ourselves. So working with people, I help them change the way they see themselves. So with Brian, when he came in to see me, morbidly obese, we don't start with this idea that the weight is the real problem. We see weight as more or less kind of a symbolic symptom of a problem. What's the problem for most of my clients? It's the relationship they have with themselves, the relationship they have with food, and the relationship they have with exercise. So the massive weight loss that people like Brian achieve is a dividend of the coaching work. And the coaching work's all about untangling the belief systems that we've been guiding ourselves with, maybe in some ways kind of unconsciously, doing things that we really know better than, but we find ourselves just repeating it over and over again. So when you sit down with a coach, and when we sit down, me and my client, we look at what are the belief systems I'm living my life by every day, and how are those belief systems impacting the things that matter most. Our bodies and our minds are directly related. So you can't really get healthy, shall we say, in relationship until you have a good relationship with yourself. So if you want your relationship with others to improve, we've got to start with the relationship with you. And certainly using food in almost a reflexive way when you're sad or when you're angry or when you're afraid really complicates things. So working with me is all about resolving those issues.
Thank you to both of you, and congratulations, Brian.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Charles has helped thousands of people reach their weight loss goals, and he can help you too. Just reach out to him at charlesdeangelo.com.